Ew. I'm here with my son, Pidgey. And it's been a crazy past week or so, but I haven't been updating the videos just because I've been a little bit busy. I ended up finding a JDM GSR bottom end on Marketplace, and I'm not sure how good it is. It was really cheap though, and we basically took the head off the GSR and put it back on that JDM GSR bottom end, and it's in the car now, and I got it running last night, so we're gonna go in the garage and gonna update you on some of that. But for now, Pidgey wants some attention. Alright, so this is my new to me motor that we got in the car. Basically took the top end off of the old motor and slapped it on this JDM GSR motor. But yeah, it seems to run okay. So the plan is to basically run this with the AEM and then see how it all goes, right? So I mean, the AEM can do closed loop tuning on its own up to 30 or down to 30%, so plus or minus 30% on fueling to get the AFRs correct. It also tells you how you need to change your volumetric efficiency. So basically what happens is you change your volumetric efficiency based on what the ECU tells you. So you plug it into a table. Then after you change your volumetric efficiency, the ECU will tell you how far off you are. It'll get you to where your fueling is, right? So then you can change your fueling after you get the volumetric efficiency correct, and then the fueling you change for power basically. The ignition is a little bit different. Unless you have a knock sensor, it's hard to do anything, and the knock sensors on B series are notoriously bad. You could run a Bosch knock sensor, but these motors really don't knock even when you have a ton of timing, advanced up top. So I'm going to look up some safe values for timing, pull it back a little bit up top, and then we're going to tune it at the track basically. I do have an appointment with Evans Tuning at the end of the month to do some tests on the motor before championships, but my goal is to basically get this car running 100% for the NJMP event, just have some fun, do all my testing there, the majority of it, and then take a break before champs just to collect myself and relax a little bit because it's been crazy. Okay, so what we're doing now is we're basically going through the car and we're cleaning up all of the wiring. Previously we had our oil pressure sensor zip tied to one of these lines. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a bracket and then mount it like right next to this clutch master cylinder, and that way we can take this wire and we can zip tie it to our fire line. And then I also removed the bracket that holds the throttle cable. I'm going to figure out how I want to route that, but I might route it like this and then figure out a way to zip tie it. But before it was around the back, but with this new booster delete, it shifts it up and makes it hard to get it around. So we're going to figure out how to mount that, but for now it's just flapping around. Alright, and while we're in here, we do have some wiring that we need to do. So we have some heat shrink, and we're heating up this soldering iron. So right here, we're just reattaching the reverse sensor signal so that I can have reverse lights on my car again. But I have some other stuff that I need to tighten up in this car, so I just wanted to show you guys the process of how I usually put my wires back together on the car. So right here, we're just reattaching the reverse sensor signal so that I can have reverse lights on my car again. But I have some other stuff that I need to tighten up in this car, so I just wanted to show you guys the process of how I usually put my wires back together on the car. Alright folks, so there you have it. Ready to plug it back up. There you go. Now we got a reverse switch again. Okay, so fun fact. I used to run this slave cylinder. And the reason it's back on the car is because this one, apparently I hit the clutch pedal while the motor was out and the piston won't go back in now, which tells me it's probably rusted. Whatever, I'll probably buy a spare one anyway, but these lines, these OEM lines that I have right here, this one's in pretty good condition. I got it from the original GSR that was in my car, but these lines like to break a lot, so this is a really ratchet one that we put together with a bunch of random lines from AutoZone, but it ended up working, so, you know, look at all those adapters, boy. Yeah, you like that, don't you? Yeah. Yeah. Okay, now remember I said that these lines like to fail, so because they like to fail, I'm just going in and I'm looking at this flare nut and I'm just making sure that it spins freely, and while I'm doing that I'm looking for any excessive rust right here or right here. Okay, this one looks to be pretty good. It does have a little bit of buildup on it, but it's not rust. So what we're going to do is we're going to put this back in. But I have seen these fail and take out people from races. So if you're looking to get the most out of your money and you're looking to finish races, it's good to keep an eye on that. Okay, so a little update on the wiring. It's a lot cleaner than it was before. I also started marking all the bolts. That's something that I do to make sure that I can see whatever's loosening up. Even back here, I got the separate grounds for the coil-on plugs all labeled up, so that's all good. We got to zip tie the wiring harness to that fuel rail there too, but let's get under the car. Alright. Now, ideally, there would be a special type of zip tie that plugs into holes on a bracket back here, but I took the bracket out. It normally supports the intake manifold to the block, and the reason I did that is because it gets in the way of a lot of stuff, so I still want to be able to reach like oil ports and you know, coolant lines back here, so I took that bracket out, and then I made my own bracket. So you can see up here, that bracket right there, that's actually an aluminum L bracket that I have attached to the intake manifold. Then I have a bunch of zip tie engineering going on here just to keep it up out of the way, not touching anything hot, and this should keep everything safe while the car is running and hot. Okay, so I do want to start the car real quick. The radiator's not in, but we do have the header in, we have the torque mount in, we have all of the header bolts marked up, we have the header mounted to the exhaust, we have the O2 sensor hooked up, primary and secondary, although this car doesn't use primary, and we should be basically ready to go. I would like to fire it up just to see if all the sensors are connected. And then after we do that, we can continue putting in the radiator, and hopefully it fires okay. It didn't really fire that good last time. We'll see. Hopefully it clears up. Okay, so as you just saw, it did run pretty good. Well, it kind of ran pretty good. It had some misfires here and there. It also runs really rich at idle. It could be because the ECU is trying to figure out what the hell to do. But the new injectors do seem to be adding in more fuel than is needed. So hopefully everything clears up. We will play around with the ECU a little bit, but first we want to get everything together. And on that note, I need to get a fan on my new radiator, which I'm going to show you guys. So as you guys know, I really didn't have any luck getting much sponsors this season. Wind Shadow Studios helped me out. Jackie helped me out from Low Buck Coaching, and PCI, Brian at PCI helped me out. But, you know, last year I was able to get AEM, and they were able to give me a pretty significant sponsorship. And so it's been tough on me this year. So with that all being said, remember, I'm not giving any paid, you know, any paid advertisement here. But again, this is a budget radiator. So, you know, this is the backside of the radiator, and what I'm really inspecting for primarily is leaks, or like, you know, spots that could leak. And I don't really see anything. But we're gonna be putting a fan, you know, probably on this side. So let me go get that fan and show you what it looks like. Okay, so this is the fan that I've been using for a long time now. It's an Amazon fan, and you can see it got melted by the header, but it works really well. And it's gonna probably sit something like off the edge, probably, because the header is very long and it hits the fan if the fan is, you know, where it should be. So because of that, probably gonna sit like this, but we're gonna mock it up first and see how it all works out. Okay, so the table is now dirty, but you can see it's a very tight fit. It's close to how it was before. The Mishimoto actually had a little bit better fitment, but like right down there, you can see, like that is really close. But that's kind of, like I said, that's kind of like how it's always been, almost. See how there's that little piece sticking out there? Like, I might clean it up a little bit more, but like it's not gonna get much better unless I relocate the bottom brackets, which I can try to do, but I don't know. Let's think about pieces of clothes. So what I'm doing here is I am rebuilding my caliper, and I hope it all works. This will be the first time I've ever rebuilt a Willwood, let alone any caliper, and had it work. But these piston seals are a little bit crusty. One of them had some visible damage on the outside of it. And they're all old. They all feel old. You know, they feel like an old gasket. And then these pistons kind of look fine, to be honest. I mean, there's some scoring on this one, maybe a little bit, which could have led to the failure. All right, we found the piston. It's part number 2007518, 2007518, and this is what it looks like. And we have the new seals in there. I cleaned it off. I installed them dry, and then I'm going to install a piston with a little bit of brake fluid. So that's the plan. Let's see how it goes. Alright, y'all. So, this is a brake rotor, and this is a knuckle. What we're going to be doing is we're going to put this this Willwood caliper back on first. Then we're going to plug in the line to stop the brake fluid from leaking out, because this is some pretty nice brake fluid. I put a vice grip on a hose, and then I attach the hose to the line. And I'm going to save that hose. That will be my stop brake fluid leaking hose. But yeah, let's get this installed. Okay, so we rebuilt it and it is leaking. It's leaking, I don't know if you can see it. I'm going to try to zoom in, but it is leaking. Here, I'll get you closer up. Alright, see that fluid there? It's leaking there, and then it's also leaking up here just a tiny bit. but mostly down here. That's a brand new seal, brand new piston, so that's all she wrote, folks. Alright, so I think that I'm going to call it quits for this video. Lots of stuff was done today. It does look like the caliper itself on the driver's side is bad, which means that we're going to be going to the new calipers, which means I might have to grind them, which I don't want to do, but it is what it is. So I guess we'll start working on that tomorrow. You know, I don't even have my watch on me, but I think it's like 11. It's 12. So I drank some coffee today, and that's kind of why I'm up late. I might not even be able to go to sleep, to be honest with you. But yeah, I got a lot of work done. Anyway, y'all, peace.